So in today's video, as you can tell, we will be talking about a very large snowstorm potential that is going to be occurring into this upcoming weekend. So this upcoming week is still fine. The models are becoming more and more consistent and clear on where and when this system will be occurring. I do also want to preface that I will be dividing this video into regions. I do this around the time of big storms because with a system like this, there will be certain regions that get completely different impacts from others, and I want to segregate that into different zones. So for the first few minutes, you could go down into the description box below, and you will be able to click on your timestamp for your region. So do that unless you want to watch all the other regions. I will begin with the Northwest, do Southwest, Midwest, Southeast, or South Central United States, and then the Eastern and Northeastern United States. So let us begin with the Northwestern United States. Let me start off by showing you the European model. So the continued flow of moisture will continue into the west. It's been very active. There's been a lot of snow across the, say, Cascades into southwestern Canada and the Oregon area and Washington. This will continue. However, by Wednesday, we see more of a defined system moving in, and this will produce two things. One, it will set off a clipper off towards the north. That will impact portions of Montana, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and the second one will be a loose area kind of a circulation that will eventually lead to a cold front being dropped down and that system further across eastern United States. But for the Northwest itself, this means quite a bit of precipitation in the form of snow and rain. Initially, it will be a mix, especially across valleys, but you can see it gets colder afterwards. So all of that transitions into snow. So now this system is pretty much done for you by the time it's Saturday the 9th. So that's essentially it. Not massive storm for you guys across the Northwest, but definitely still an impact for sure. So you can see that by Saturday the 9th, when this system moves through, notice there's going to be quite a bit of additional snow, especially obviously across the Bitterroots, the Cascades, and mountain ranges, say northern Utah into the Wasatch there, and obviously into Yellowstone, the Grand Tetons, and portions of the northern Sierra Nevada. The GFS model shows a very similar situation for you folks across the Northwest, continued flow of moisture into the next few days, and then finally that pushing off further inland, which will bring snow into, again, much of the mountain ranges. By the way, by the 9th of Saturday, as I mentioned, it will be mainly done, but look, there will be more systems coming in, so you guys won't be seeing much of a break. But with regards to this particular storm system, you can see that the amounts are going to be the heaviest towards the coast with the rainfall and just precipitation. That includes snowfall, but there will be some snow nonetheless further westward. Now let's go on into the southwestern United States and focus about you guys. So the southwestern folks, you will also be impacted by the system, but to probably much less degree than any other region across the United States. Notice that if you consider the southwest, starting with California, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, and these areas, which I will do for the sake of this video, notice that you guys are peaceful for the next few days, but then you do see a cold front push into California. That could bring a little bit of precipitation and snow, nothing massive, no atmospheric river, but nonetheless some precipitation for the Northern California folks, living there across, say, Fresno, Reno, maybe getting some snow there and snow and rain. And do notice that this pushes into, say, Nevada and Utah, but it really peters out. But probably the biggest difference will be for the northern half of the Southwest will be cool air behind this as this cold front kind of comes through. And maybe for Colorado and portions of New Mexico, some snowfall into Saturday. But other than that, that's pretty much it. This system moves away for you guys. So the total accumulated precipitation through, say, Saturday the 9th, which is, again, when this system will be pretty much done with you guys across the Southwest, you could see a lot of these areas will be pretty much done. I'm seeing precipitation, and really not that much. Maybe, say, northern Utah a little bit, Colorado, and California, and essentially that would be around it. In terms of total snowfall, also not too entirely impressive. If you take a look at it, mainly across Colorado, maybe northern Utah, and portions of California, nothing huge. Now let's move on into the region of the northern central United States. This is an area where, yeah, we will get quite a bit of potential activity with this system. So let me begin by showing you the GFS model. So the GFS model is, again, the one that I'm going to show you along with the European. For the next few days, nothing really big. A little bit of a disturbance here in the next few days across, really into tonight, across Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan, Indiana. That kind of peters out, doesn't really do much. The big thing we're looking for is a warming of temperatures. It will be very unseasonably warm for a lot of these states here across, say, the Dakotas, into Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, Michigan. Very warm. So that is definitely something we'll have to keep an eye on for, as there could be some strong winds, maybe some red flag warnings being prompted as there is a threat for bushfires and whatnot, even in the wintertime, especially if it's not awfully wet, which it hasn't really been. Do note, though, that only lasts for a few days, as that clipper off that northwestern flow ejects a cold front, which allows a lot of cold air to spill in here. Not unseasonably cold, but definitely compared to what will be beforehand. And notice that we see a lot of ejection of moisture from the south, and this results in potentially a swath of pretty heavy snow somewhere across the Midwest. Now, we don't know exactly where this will be. That's the big question. This could be, like the GFS is showing now, across Illinois and Wisconsin. This could be definitely more further towards Detroit, or it could take this exact track, just be a lot weaker. So there's still a lot of differences here that we'll have to sort out. And do note, though, it is going to be an impactful system. Wherever the snow does fall, it seems it will be accompanied by very strong winds. And again, this will be this upcoming weekend. So some areas, like say Minnesota, the Dakotas, you guys may completely get avoided by this. And that seems to be most likely the case. But anywhere from Illinois, Missouri, Iowa, Michigan, expect a chance of rain and/or snow, depending on how the system exactly unfolds. We don't have the exact details for that. In terms of total accumulated precipitation, again, where that precipitation lies is going to be directly dependent on that storm track. Do notice that the total snowfall, wherever the snow does occur, can be pretty heavy in some spots. And you can see the models have been going back and forth on this. You can see this is the GFS I'm showing you, previous model runs. It's been jumping around quite a bit, but it seems to be honing in on a few areas. And again, this may not look like a massive snow event, and frankly it isn't for this area, but accompanying with the very strong winds and potentially rain beforehand, it could definitely lead to quite a bit of concerns. The European model for the Midwest also shows something very similar tracking system. Again, it shows a very similar track. Funny enough, the European develops a much stronger system and has more cold air, so it shows snow all the way down into northern Arkansas, which, to be honest, I don't know if I see that being as likely, but it's definitely something I wanted to show you as well. That's what the European model is showing. So notice that the Midwest right there, again, maybe some areas of the Dakotas and Minnesota will get impacted by that little clipper that brings that cold air, which allows this system to pump and dump a lot of snow because of that moisture hitting quite a bit of cold air. Do note the European model is further eastward than the GFS, but it overall is a pretty similar looking system. It is overall also a lot stronger of a system, so that's also important to note. And again, the total precipitation amounts for the Midwest, again, wherever the snow or rain line is, it looks as if there will be some heavy amounts. The European actually being a lot more bullish with it than, say, the GFS. We will have to see about that and how that pans out. Now let's go to the southern United States, and this includes the Southeast. And I want to show you how this system will impact you. So for you folks, you guys won't be getting a snowstorm. That's unfortunately most likely not going to be the case. However, there could be some areas that may see a little bit of snow, but for the most part, it's going to be a severe weather concern. So notice the next few days for the south and southeast, really not much going on. You guys will be dealing with quite a bit of warm temperatures, especially into Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, as this high pressure builds and sends a lot of warm air pretty far towards the north, but the south definitely gets in on that as well. This allows for a lot of moisture to pool, and that little clipper way further up north into Canada drives quite a bit of cold air down, not enough to see snow across the south, but enough to create a system which potentially drops quite a bit of severe weather here across. My concern is kind of eastern Texas, eastern Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi. Again, the exact placement of this is still unknown. Again, that will determine, the system will determine that where exactly it tracks. But it does seem that the ingredients are there for a severe weather outbreak. And quite a notable one. You can see it, this extends into the southeast of, starting from Texas all the way into Georgia, and pretty much all the way off the coast. There will be a little bit of cool air behind this, but it won't be enough to really make a massive difference and produce any snow. So obviously where the thunderstorms do occur, there will be a lot of precipitation. They show this, but global models are very bad at predicting thunderstorms. So you got to keep that in mind. Really no snowfall. The GFS keeps it way further north. There is a little bit of a difference amongst the models. The European does bring in some snow actually for the northern areas of the southern region, which is actually interesting, and I have to show you that. So again, there's the future days, very warm, very similar to the GFS, pumping in a lot of moisture. Notably, this high pressure is a little bit further eastward than what the GFS shows, so maybe this allows some of that cold air to sink in further. And notice that the system develops, again, very, very close to the shore. Or the Gulf of Mexico, the shores of Gulf of Mexico, meaning a lot of moisture, a lot of instability. Severe weather, definitely still a possibility here. But notice it drops a lot much further south in Arkansas, southern Missouri, potentially pick up on some snow there into Illinois, Missouri, as this thing moves further north. So, for most part, this is a rain/severe weather event for the southeast and southern central United States, but there could be a little bit of snow if a scenario like the European unfolds. Regardless, even if there's a little bit of snow, I do believe the severe weather is a bigger concern for the southeast. Notice a lot of rain wherever this does occur. Obviously, where the thunderstorms occur, there will be a lot of rain as well. Global models are notoriously bad at predicting that. And do note that, again, the snowfall potential is there pretty far to the south, so that is definitely something interesting. I'll keep you updated with that. Notice the Storm Prediction Center, which forecasts severe weather, does have an area already out for Saturday, so that's pretty far out. It encompasses Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana. Notice they show, I think they're leaning more with the GFS scenario, meaning no real snow across Arkansas, as they have that severe weather risk all the way into central Arkansas. So, this scenario is a lot less likely, but if the models trend towards that, we will have to keep an eye on that. All right, now let's go towards the northeastern United States and kind of southeastern Canada. So you guys will definitely also be impacted by this system, and mainly in the form of rain, but some snow as well. But it seems as if the snow will be kind of further west of the northeastern region. Next few days, quite a bit of chilly air hanging around the New England area, but again, there will be a lot of warm air pumping in. So this will eventually hit the northeast, not to the same extent as the Midwest, but it will be definitely warming into Friday, Saturday, and even Sunday. Notice we see a surge of moisture with this system as we head into Saturday. Still the northeast mainly dry up until late Saturday, early Sunday, where we see that cold front come through. Quite a bit of rain, but again, that snow mainly staying further off towards the west. So no real concern of a massive system of snow there. If you guys did get a lot of snow with the previous system across the northeast, and now there's a lot of warm air and rain, that could lead to some flooding concerns. Notice behind this, it does seem to cool off pretty quickly, but that is definitely something we will have to watch for. Notice total accumulated precipitation. It's definitely there. Not too significant, but could cause some hydrologic issues. European snowfall output, again, pretty north of the northeast, even the southeastern Canada area, not seeing much snow from this, mainly a rain event. However, the European does develop overall a stronger system, so a lot more potentially coastal, even flooding from the strong winds, but also just blustery conditions. So notice the European takes the system, develops in a very similar way. It also has a little bit more precipitation with it. You can see a lot of rain out ahead of that, a very powerful cold front, and you could see that, again, this could really quickly lead to some flooding issues, especially given that there's quite a bit of snow there. It cools off quite quickly behind that, so at least there's that. But in terms of total accumulated precipitation, the European does show more for the northeast than the GFS, and you can see that shows as much as 1 to 2 inches here of rainfall, so that would be a lot more. But it does seem the worst of the impacts will stay west of you. So that is basically it, guys. Hopefully you were able to see your region and the impacts this storm will bring. Again, severe weather, snow, a lot of potential headaches with this system, especially since it's going to be occurring on a weekend that's marginally out before Christmas, so it's not super busy, but there's definitely more travel. And again, a lot of things to look here with the system, including the severe weather. So that is basically it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next episode. See ya. Bye.